are now listening to the Dad Rules Podcast with your hosts, Mario E. and Kid.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Dad Rules Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Mario E. and Kid. What's going on?
Not much, man. Glad to be here. Glad to be back on the podcast.
For sure.
Feeling good today, man. Let's what you got for today?
All right. So today's topic is going to be beggars can't be choosers. Beggars can't be choosers. All right. I know I've heard that plenty of times in the past as a kid. How do you feel about that statement? Beggars can't be choosers.
I feel like it's really all about being grateful, being thankful. That's the first thing I really think about is like, and I think we all have had times that somebody asked you for something and then you gave it to them, like, I don't want this. And then you kind of get offended. You like, forget you too then, man. You ain't got to have nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So, and man, I think that's one thing too. Like nobody wants their child, because I mean, this is Dad Roots podcast, so we talk about how we relate this to our kids. And like nobody wants their child to be like a spoiled, ungrateful brat. Like, I think that's the worst thing. And like here recently, Jonah's been doing very well in school. So I've been giving him probably more toys because he's really into monster trucks. So I've been getting him more toys as he brings stuff home. And I say, okay, you've been doing good at school? Okay. And then he gets like, Daddy, I've been good, you know? And, you know, we still, you know, tell him to be thankful, you know what I'm saying? And we still tell him to say thank you and things of that nature, because it's like, we have to, it's nobody else is going to tell your kid, you know, how they should show their gratitude or whatever. They're just, if they see your kid and they're not being thankful, they're like, man, they're just a spoiled brat, you know? And nobody wants their kid to be looked at like that. So we have to take time,
Absolutely.
you know, be intentional with teaching them to be thankful for the things that they get. And if you don't like something, take it anyway. That's what my dad told me. And that was taught to him from his parents, was like, even if you don't like something or you don't want it, take it. And when you get home, you can do whatever you want to. If you don't want to eat it, or if they give you some clothes or something like that and you don't want to wear them, then maybe you can find somebody else that may be in need or needs to wear those clothes or anything like that. But just don't ever take things for granted like that. But especially when you're asking for help, we need to be aware of that. I'll tell you one thing, right? And this is something that really made me upset one day. And I want to know how you feel about it, even if you disagree with me. I mean, it still leads to a good conversation. But one time I had somebody that asked me for me to loan them some money. And I loaned the money to them. But I asked them, actually this time I didn't loan it to them. They asked me for some money and I told them, I said, what do you need the money for? And they didn't want to tell me what they needed the money for. They was like, well, you don't need to know all that. Just give me the money or whatever, and I'll pay you back. And I was like, it might not be necessarily exactly related to beggars can't be choosers, but you're asking me to help you. And I'm asking you a simple question. If you can't answer that question, then why should I give you this money? I don't know, like that really, I hate when people are in a position of need. And this goes like full circle. When somebody's in need of something and they need you to help them, I hate when they act like they're doing you a favor by asking you to help them. If that makes sense.
No, I
it
get
happens
that.
a lot of times where people act like you're on their time. Like, okay, I told you to meet me over here at 12. You coming there at 12:30, like, what time we supposed to meet or whatever? It's like, no, I'm taking out time to help you. I need for you to be here. I need for you to do everything I asked you to do. You know what I'm saying? So I think like just common respect for other people that are trying to help you out. You need to do everything on your end. And like I can remember time. I can remember a time specifically. Looked like I was fresh out of college or something like that, and I had asked you to loan me some money, and then I paid you back. You know what I'm saying? That money, and that sticks out to me so much because like I was so particular on how I paid you each month, even if it wasn't a large amount. I gave you something each month to pay back to you what I owed you. And I feel like if I hadn't have had respect for you being the person that helped me in a time that I needed it, our relationship wouldn't be where it is today. Because money ends friendships.
Oh yeah, definitely can.
And I think about that I don't think about it all the time, but I think about it a lot when it comes to money and borrowing. I was like, you know, Mario loaned me some money then and I was able to pay him back. But what if I hadn't paid him back? We wouldn't be as close as we are now. And then too, like if you had said, I need this back in 2 months, you know what I'm saying? I would have had to do what you asked me to do because you were the one sticking your neck out for me.
Yeah.
You know, I know that probably can help somebody because my initial thoughts are like, don't loan friends money. That's my initial thoughts because it ends friendships. Or like, don't co-sign with somebody for a car or putting your name on something and they don't pay for it because it can mess up friendships. But it's like that exception was that one time, like when I asked you to help me out with something, you helped me, and then I was able to do right. And it's like, dang, now I can't really say, don't ever do that. You know what I'm
saying? No, I understand that.
But yeah.
So, you know, when you was asking about that, and I remember that situation too. You know, you asked me for that money or whatever. But when you were talking about, you know, people asking about, you know, someone asks you for money and then you ask them what it's for. You know, I used to do that a lot. I used to, if someone was asking me for money and I'm giving it to them, I would ask questions like, well, what you need it for? And da, da, da. I've gotten to the place now where if I can do it, I'll do it. I don't need to know what it's for. It's like, I don't need to know all the details. I don't need to know the particulars. Like I look at it as the act. Like you ask me for something, and if I can help you, I'll do it. And even still, there's plenty of times also, depending on what it is and maybe how much money it is, I've gotten to the place where if someone is asking me for money, I'd rather just give it to them. I don't want it as, because like, to your point, you can lose friendships over money, these things like that. And if I'm able to do for somebody, if they ask me for an amount of money that I can just gift it to them, there you go. Don't worry about it. And if you pay it back, you know, 2 years later, it doesn't matter. And it's just bonus. But I'm not looking for it back. That's just the way I've had to condition myself. When people ask me for money, if I give it with the intent of like not seeing it again. Because I don't want to get hung up with someone, or you know, to the point where you know we become unbenefited because of, you know, a couple of dollars. You know, that's not the case with all amounts of money. You know, as I mature and grow and, you know, I expand my wealth or whatever, then, you know, I'm able to give more money and not look for it back. But, you know, I mean, if it's crazy amount, then yeah, I'm probably looking for it back.
But
it just depends on what it is. Right?
I think it kind of comes into play on what we ask for. And I think both of our goals in life, or one of the goals, maybe not the goal that just overshadows everything, but it is our goals because we've talked about it, is to obtain wealth and to build generational wealth. But when we ask for this, we say, I would rather be a lender than a borrower, right?
Exactly. So right.
When we transition into those places in life, and then when we get there, then we don't want to give. And we don't want to help anymore. But isn't that what you asked for? You asked to have an abundance when it comes to your finances. And then when that happens, then you are a lender, not a borrower. That's what the prophecy is. So how can we get upset when it's time to lend? And like I said, I mean, I have helped out other friends that I have, and good friends are gonna do their best to give it back.
Oh yeah.
Now that's a fact.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's no way humanly possible for them to be able to pay you back for what you gave them, they're gonna do everything in their ability to make it right back what you can get back even.
That's right.
But yeah,
that's right.
But what is the rest of your thoughts on beggars can't be choosers?
Yeah, so the first thing, like you said, man, the first thing I think about, man, is being thankful. We're coming up on Thanksgiving season, and we should be thankful all times, not just during Thanksgiving. But one of the things I think about is, and like I said, at the start, I've been accused of that before, by my parents when I was little. I don't have anything and I get gifted with something, and then I'm like, I don't want that. That's not what I want, or something like that. And you're not in a position when you don't have anything to be so choosy to the point where like you're ungrateful for a gift that somebody is giving you. That's not the way to be. And definitely we should raise our kids that way. And also we shouldn't be that way because our kids will see that. But here's one thing that, I can say that for me, that I think about is, if you're an adult like that, or if you have a kid like that, maybe what you do is you explain to them, or, maybe I'm explaining it to you, that you work hard enough to get to the place where, you're the lender, like you said, and not the borrower, that you have to look for a handout. Nothing wrong with accepting gifts, let somebody bless you, accept those, things or whatever. Right. But, if it's something that you really want, like if I'm going to use an example. Let's say, you give me a pair of shoes. Let's say I don't have any shoes, and I say, hey man, I need some shoes, or you see me without any shoes. And let's say you buy me a pair of shoes that said, at Kmart somewhere.
Anything other than Jordans, and you will look down at it. Or not Jordans. But no. This is how you do. It's anything other than Nike. That's how you were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You didn't like anything other than Nike, like you had.
Right. So like, and if someone gave me something other than that, I might be like, I ain't gonna wear them. Well, then if I'm gonna get to that point where, I'm gonna look down upon a gift, then I need to raise my level of productivity, get out there and get it, get out there and hustle to the point where I can afford my own Nikes.
Legally.
I can afford my own Jordans, that I don't have to worry about you gifting me something. If you gift me something, and hey, I need to be thankful and say, hey, I appreciate the thought of you thinking about me, but not to the point where I'm being disrespectful and ungrateful, because so that's something that I would say, if you're an adult like that, I've seen people being gifted cars and things like that, and they turning their nose up at it because it's not what they wanted. That's weird. That's weird to me. Right. So But yeah, that's what I got on the subject. Just, be thankful, be grateful, and if you don't have it, if you don't have what someone is giving, if you don't have it to the level of something that you want, or you were gifted something, get out there and hustle and get it the next time. But still be grateful for what somebody did, a kind gesture that somebody did for you, because you were in a position you didn't have anything.
Yes, and I think, man, we work so hard to put our kids in position so they can be successful and have things. And even if our parents, provided us everything we needed, even to have certain things that we weren't able to get when we were kids or whatever. But just like your worst nightmare as a parent, you don't want your kid to get this feeling of self-entitlement. Like, I think that's the worst thing, is like feeling like, oh, I just deserve this. No, you don't deserve nothing.
Yeah.
And I think it gets misconstrued as well. As like, okay, Jonah is, yes, you're our prince. You know what I'm saying? You're the prince in this household. But when you walk outside these doors, bro, the world don't care about you like that. And I think we have to let our kids know that without, affecting their confidence. I'm not telling you to say you ain't nothing or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. But it's like, I'm feeling like sometimes the kids are like overly confident and thinking that you don't have to do anything and you're just great. No, you got to do something. If you want to be called great and people look at you like you're a great individual or that you have accomplished some great things, you got to actually go out here and do it. Like,
that's right.
I don't know why in society right now that people just feel like, things are just owed to them.
Yeah.
And it's not like that at all, man. It's not like that at all. And you don't want your kids growing up like that.
Not at all.
Good. Yeah. You got anything else on Beggars Can't Be Choosers?
Nah, don't, bro.
I'll tell you another thing, though. Even when it came to having food at the house, beggars can't be choosers. And I think a lot of us has had that. You hungry?
That's a big thing.
And
that's a big thing.
Mama didn't cook something that you like. And I don't know if this happens a whole lot nowadays, but I know, like, my dad was growing up, if you didn't eat what mama cooked, you didn't eat.
Exactly.
Period.
It wasn't cooking 2 or 3 meals to satisfy everybody what they wanted to have.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. But I think about it now, it's
we
give Jonah
what
he likes. Huh?
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say we fell into that trap a couple of times, to where, my wife, may have to cook 2 different types of sides or 2 different types of meats or whatever. Or if we're, if my wife doesn't cook or I don't cook and, she's like, hey, stop so-and-so and get something to eat, one child might not want where we're stopping, and so, I fell into the trap before, you stopping at 2 different places. But, it's something that for sure I don't make a habit out of it, because I grew up the same way, like you said, that, your dad grew up, where my mom cooked one thing. And if you didn't need it, that's shame on you. And then I had to go out there, like I said, and get it myself when I got a job. If I didn't want, pot roast for dinner, then I could go out and get, McDonald's for dinner or something, But if I didn't have McDonald's money, then guess what I was eating? I was eating pot roast and some mashed potatoes and whatever else she might have fixed, some string beans or something. Sometimes you don't want that, but I had to get out there and hustle and get it myself, working me a job and, so yeah, for sure, man. That falls in the same situation.
And I mean, I've done it before myself. Like, man, I might want a sandwich from one place and then I want fries from another place. So it's like, sometimes, man, especially like on a Friday night, where after you done worked all week, and it's like, I just want everybody to be happy tonight. So Let's do it because, you know, we're going to have a good night. And, you know, you just won't. I think that's something that us dads really cherish is like having a happy family. It's like you can take some pride in everybody being happy and provided for. Just be a good night, you know?
Yep.
Well, if that's all you have on Beggars Can't Be Choosers, we're going to go ahead and shut it down. Thank you guys for listening to the Dad Rules podcast with Mario E and Kid. And we'll check you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Dad Rules podcast with your hosts, Mario E and Kid. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, follow and like us on Facebook and Instagram. You can find our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Breaker, and Player FM. Till next time.